What's up guys, Datcoopguy here. Today we're going to be jumping into a Fallout 76 guide, mainly focusing on the sniper build. Now this is a really awesome build that has a little bit of sneaking, a little bit of team mechanics, and uses V.A.T.S heavily. Now I might be doing a different one for not using V.A.T.S, but this one we're going to be mainly focusing on V.A.T.S because you can do some really powerful perk card combos here, which make it to where you do massive amounts of damage. Jumping in to this build, the first thing is in strength, we did pick strong back. This basically just increases our overall carry limit, so this is very helpful. And on top of it, every time you put a point into strength, it increases the amount that you can carry. So in turn, we're gaining a lot more carry weight out of this, which makes it really helpful in the future. Now, I do have this in there as well, because say like we open up some card packs, and we get some different strength cards that we want along the way, we can switch in and out with those depending on what ends up happening. So I thought that one was very helpful going forward. Now the perception tree and agility tree are the main ones that you really want to worry about. So being able to perceive all the enemies around you is really helpful. And then agility obviously for the gun damage. So jumping into the perception tree here, we have V.A.T.S targeting limbs with concentrated fire. This one's very needed. Basically, it overall increases the accuracy, allowing you to get better snipes and increasing the damage per shot. So very helpful, obviously a must need for the build. Next is obviously increasing all the different riflemen's to give yourself about 60% more damage, which if you're already using sniper rifles, it's already crazy amounts of damage, so really helpful out there. Now the next thing is tank killer. This is going to be really helpful for dealing with machines. Machines have a lot of armor, and they can be kind of a pain to kill. So having that to where you have this advantage of being able to pierce through that armor is very helpful, especially with the sniper and its high amount of damage. Piercing through that armor allows you to do a lot more things. Now also having that stagger is going to be very helpful when dealing with humanoid-like enemies. So tank killer is a really awesome one. Now, with endurance, we actually put no points into endurance. I just couldn't find anything really useful to put in there. However, keep in mind you do have a few free points that you can put into stuff. I just felt that there's nothing really worthwhile. Maybe you can find like some random perk card to throw in there, but endurance really didn't have anything to offer. Next is bodyguards. So when you're going to be getting new codes and you're going to be exploring the new vaults that they're going to be opening up, you're going to really want to have some team cards in the mix. Bodyguards is perfect for that. You are in a team. So when you're in a team, you get increase of damage and energy resistance. Energy resistance is one of the more helpful things here because you're going to be dealing with a lot of lasers and a lot of different machine stuff when trying to get your nuke codes. Now, obviously later on you have to deal with radiation more than energy resistance, but having this card is very helpful. And on top of that, we are really trying to get some of the perk points up, because for every 2 points into charisma, you can share a card that is equal to 1. So what I mean by that is that with our total of 6, divide that by 2, that means we can share a perk card of 3 or lower with the entire group, and they all get the bonuses from that. So that's very helpful. I wish we could share bodyguards, but obviously I wasn't really going for that. The main things I was focusing on is all the other stuff out here. So running 20% faster and sharing that with the group might be very helpful. There's a few different cards you can pick out there, but in general, having a few points into charisma is never really a bad thing, because you can share a card and then they can share a card, and then that way you guys get a bunch of benefits of different cards in the group even if you don't have it. So that's very important going forward. So basically what I did is did this to increase our damage and energy resistance when we're in a group. And on top of that, it gave us a little bit of a 20% run speed because, you know, makes it fun and gets us at that nice 6 there. Now, the next thing is obviously Gunsmith. You don't want your sniper to break down or get destroyed while in the middle of combat. It kind of sucks. But having it also to where you can make it a tier 5 gun is amazing. You can put any of the sort of modifications you want on it, any of the receivers, any of the scopes, anything that you find in the game. Very helpful. Obviously, you don't have to get like Gunsmith like immediately, but what you can do is you can kind of get this over time as you start to need the different sort of tiers here. And then next thing I got is Scrapper, just to give us a lot more out of our weapons and armor. So more components, meaning more snipers, meaning more upgrades, more, everything else. So very helpful there. Now we're getting into the agility section. So the first thing you're going to need is action points regenerating 45% faster. You're going to need this because, one, you're going to be running around, so running obviously takes away a lot of action points. On top of that, we're also going to be sneaking, so making sure we have action points for when we're sneaking around trying to aim at things. And also because of V.A.T.S, we are going to be using V.A.T.S very heavily, so this is where the combos really start to come into the mix, and you're going to really want to get your action points as quickly as possible so that way you can do more shots with V.A.T.S. Now, adrenaline is a nice one here, and you're going to see a nice combo that I'm about to show you in a hot bit, where adrenaline increases basically the percentage of your damage by 10% for every single kill you do within a 30-second window. So you kill something, you got 30 seconds, you kill another thing, it goes up to 20, all the way up to 60 max. The duration refreshes with kills. So this is going to be really awesome because obviously we're a sniper with, concentrated fire, with a high amount of damage, with not having to worry about armor. So we're going to be doing some massive damage, and having it to where we can take down a bunch of targets is really nice. Now the next thing is covert operative, which basically if we are sneaking, we deal 2.5 times the amount of damage. Crazy amount of damage we're going to be doing now. So if we are doing our opener with sneaking, we basically know that whatever target we're hitting is almost dead or is dead, which once again makes adrenaline pop off, which allows us to get a bunch more kills in the beginning. Next is this escape artist, because it's really helpful for obviously sneaking. You're going to want that. And on top of it, running doesn't affect stealth anymore, so that's really nice. And sneaking, the sneak card's obviously needed to sneak, so kind of goes hand in hand. Now here's where we actually start to get into some of the combos. 4-leaf clover, basically with each hit in V.A.T.S, has an excellent chance of filling your crit meter. So every time we're hitting with V.A.T.S, we have Action Boy here, and then we have Concentrated Fire. So Concentrated Fire allows us a high accuracy and more damage. Then on top of it, you have this, which is constantly giving us action points. So we're constantly getting hits, which is constantly making our crit meter go up, which is allowing us to do more crits, which is allowing us to get some easy kills, especially if we are sneaking. Then on top of it, we're getting adrenaline, which is increasing that damage over time. And then on top of that, our last card, which any kill has a 35% chance of restoring all action points. So basically, imagine you're sneaking in. You sneak in, you have concentrated fire, you aim for the head, you obviously go through them, you kill them because of them having not much armor. You slowly regain your action points. If you have a chance of killing them, you can actually reset that, allowing your adrenaline perks to go up more, allowing you to eventually get some more crits to hit the bigger targets. And just basically the combo just kind of goes for itself here. So very, very helpful build altogether. Now let's actually look at the leveling and how exactly you want to do this leveling wise, so that way you don't kind of screw this up and you have like a nice build going for you without it getting too rough for you. So what I did is I just did Action Point and Action Girl right in the beginning, because basically you're going to want to have a bunch of action points because you're just going to be kind of finding odds and ends. You might even have a melee weapon that you're focusing on. At this point you're not really getting any guns. I would dare say it's not around till like 5 or 6 where you actually start finding a lot more guns. You start killing Scorch and you start getting more and more weapons out there. Most of the time you're just kind of running around with either a hatchet or the sort of pipe pistols that you find on the ground. So in the first beginning level, and because you're just running around and you're really trying to level up as quickly as possible because you probably have already done the beginning of the game multiple times, Action Boy and Action Girl is the good go-to to have. Then from there you're going to get Concentrated Fire, so that way you start to use your different weapons that you have around, especially learning how to use V.A.T.S. So great time to learn how to use V.A.T.S correctly. And then from there we're going to do Rifleman to overall increase your rifle damage. From there you're going to choose Gunsmith, just max that out so that way you have all the different stuff and you can pick up all the different weapons, start to destroy them and everything else. Around level 15 is where the game starts getting a little bit tougher, but not too bad. From there I picked Scrapper just to make sure that I had all the different materials and where I could start destroying my guns and getting myself ready for level 20 when I start finding better rifles out there. From there, I did bodyguards because usually with a sniper build, it's Fallout multiplayer. If you're not playing with friends, it's a really tough game to play. So having bodyguards is always a helpful perk to have. Now from there, we're just increasing our damage. So excellent, expert rifleman is kind of like the go-to here. Then from there, we're getting sneak, which allows us once again to really get into the sneaking part. Then from there, this is where the game gets really tough, but having covert operative is going to make it even easier because of how much we are able to sneak right now. So most of the time we're not going to get caught while we're sneaking, so that way we can kind of really get out of things. Now from here we got 4-leaf clover, which is very helpful, and then we get tank killer, and then we max out 4-leaf clover. So 4-leaf clover, for you guys who don't remember, basically increases our crit. And keep in mind we're sneaking all the time, so that makes it really, really easy, especially going forward. Then from there I chose the Grim Reaper Sprint, so makes it really helpful for when you're using that, which basically makes it to where we reset our action points. So we're sneaking in, we're getting some easy kills, we're getting back some of our action points. Next is obviously Escape Artist, which you're going to use to basically help you really develop into a sneaking assassin. Then from there, you're basically just going to max out all 3 of them in different orders. So, 4-leaf clover, tank, and then Grim Reaper Sprint. Then from there, you're going to want to work on obviously your squad stuff, because around level 40 is where you're really going to start working with nukes and everything. So you're going to want to make sure that you are able to run around and get around where you're needed, because obviously there are some turrets and they are mean unless you have a different way of sprinting past them and not taking as much damage. There's a huge difference between a regular sprint and having a nice 20% speed increase sprint when running past those turrets. A very helpful thing altogether. Now next is Master Rifleman, so basically just max that out as quickly as possible. Then from there I chose Strongback. You don't have to choose Strongback, I just kind of chose it because it's a nice quality of life thing. And then from there, just max out Adrenaline, because you're going to be needing that for the bigger fights to come. But anyways guys, that's my look at a sniper build. It's very, very nice. I'm not a big fan of V.A.T.S, but this is a really powerful build with V.A.T.S where you can use it to your overall advantage. I hope you guys do enjoy these Fallout 76 guides. There will be more to come. In the comments below, tell me if you would like a sniper build that doesn't use V.A.T.S. I have that build as well. As always, there will be a link in the description to the build that you guys can check out personally. Also, be sure to check out some of my other videos. There's all different types of things for all different things gaming, so be sure to check that out as well. Anyways, I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.